A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock myself?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
We are running out of time in the postseason, and major moves are going to be made here tonight at the high banks of the World Center of Racing. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway. Welcome to Round 4 of the Maximum Velocity CNC Home Designs Truck Series Chase. For the 5th time in series history, we're here at Daytona, and it's going to be a wild night. And a lot is going to be decided after it's all said and done here this evening. Tommy Cook, Joshua Motichek alongside. Hopefully you had a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody got some good turkey. And let's talk a little turkey here tonight at Daytona Super Speedway Racing. Some people love it, some people hate it. Tonight, you got to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Not typically a big fan of strategy racing. However, super speedways are a totally different animal. Absolutely love seeing people mix it up on strategy, pit early, mess around with that stage caution that comes out. I mean, there's always room for strategy. It's just mental chess.
Mental chess indeed. Let's take a look at the point standings. Give you the lay of the land coming into tonight. We mentioned maybe some doubt about James Lehman's ability to continue in the postseason. He is going to give it a go here tonight. He had surgery. Sounds like it was successful. Sounds like he's working through some pain still. But he is here and ready to defend the points lead coming into tonight. Look at that. Justin Michaels, Scott Patton tied for second. Unfortunate news to pass along that Dakota Floyd has had a family emergency here this evening and will not be participating. At least at last check, I don't believe he will be in the session this evening. So that will likely end his title defense. But a lot of other drivers here who are in a good position to capitalize, that are good at super speedway racing, and a couple of drivers that are on kind of the outside edge of contention right now that need to have a good night, that are definitely more than capable of doing just that.
Yeah, I mean, a super speedway is very much the coin toss race. I mean, see all these drivers who are 40 to 50 points back, and just one bad race for the top three, and that can flip the whole chase on its head going into the final race.
Yes, it certainly can, as we'll get you out to the track here for qualifying. I didn't remember to take a look at how many drivers we had right before we transitioned into qualifying. It was close to 30, though, so we'll see what the exact number is as drivers start to put up some qualifying times. First times to go up on the board. Nathan Carroll, third quickest. Greg Mall is second quickest. And Mike Milfelt has provisional pole at the moment in the 155. Mike Milfelt, Brad Slagle, Greg Mall, all super speedway winners. Now Matt Rodolasso clocks in quickest. James Lehman, last time we were at Daytona, ended up on his lid here. I'm sure he didn't want me to bring that up. He goes provisional pole, however. Will Kirk with a nice lap. Let's get somebody on a lap here. Let's go with Parker Donaldson. As, again, we've got our handles here. Awkward Darkling. It's one of the Carols, I'm sure. Cheering on Wildest Motorsports Ventures. So, appreciate you. Appreciate Rob Martin hanging out with us as well. Scott Patton will go to the top of the board. And the most recent Super Speedway winner in Max V competition, CJ McLaughlin, is back, and he goes P5. Trent Drum, P11 on his lap. And he was the bridesmaid forever on the Super Speedways, but Justin Michael finally has a Super Speedway win to his credit. Came here at Daytona a couple of years ago, and he is on his lap right now. P9 for Michael at Martinsville. There's Bailey Motichek hopping in the chat as well. Joshua Motichek was in the chat earlier. Don't know whatever happened to that guy.
I think he's a little confused.
So was I, apparently. I didn't load the right video in. So Michael on his lap time to beat right now is a 51:22. We'll hop over to Jared Wishon and Joshua Fracker here in just a second, as Justin Michael's lap is 9th quickest. Here's Wishon as Josh Fracker now cracks the top 10. He'll go P9. Wishon's lap will be good enough to put him in 11th. So just outside of the top 10, 20 drivers have turned in a lap. Nobody else is out on track, which means nobody else is going to get a time in here before our qualifying clock expires. So hovering around 30 drivers here tonight, the penultimate round of the championship. Just 2 more Max V races to go on turn 200. It's sad to see it go, but excited to crown ourselves. Looking right now to be a first-time champion, but a couple of drivers could change that here down the stretch. We'll have to see how things play out over the course of the next 2 nights of racing this Thursday and next Thursday at Homestead Miami Speedway. Qualifying is wrapping up, and we'll have the starting grid for you here for this evening's action. 60 laps tonight at Daytona, and it'll be led to green by the driver who's won 2 in a row, Scott Patton. Tied for second in the standings, and he will lead the field of green with James Lehman, the current points leader, lining up to his outside. Row 2, Will Kirk is crafty on the super speedways. He's had some bad luck the last couple of weeks. Look for him to go for it early here in third. Matt Rodolasa, last time we saw him at Auto Club, career best second place finish. He will start in spot number 4 tonight. Seth Foudy, back for the first time in a couple of months. Same with CJ McLaughlin. Last time we saw that 91 truck, he was in victory lane at the new Atlanta Motor Speedway. Christian Elliott and Mike Milfelt on row 4. Joshua Fracker and Justin Michael round out your top 10 starters. Row number 6, Jared Wishon on the inside of Brad Slagle. Greg Mall, a Daytona winner, starting in 13th. Nathan Carroll to his outside, made up big points at Martinsville. He starts in 14th. Trent Drum, Billy Bumgarner, the defending Daytona winner there in truck number 5, starts in 16th. Needing a wing and a prayer to get back into the title fight. Logan Murray, Ron Mitten, Parker Donaldson, Rob Martin, your top 20. Heath Smith and Mason Sweet on row number 11. Ryan Nardone way back there in 23rd. Jack Watts coming off a top 5 at Martinsville, starts in 24th. Tyler Hesseling, Bill Paradise, Kerry Cleaver, Chris Sargent, and Chris Voiles. 29 drivers here tonight at Daytona. As we are under the lights, down on the beach, Mr. Joshua Motichek, is there anywhere else you'd rather be than at Daytona Beach right now with an 83-degree ambient temperature? It seems nice.
Seems a very brisk evening for sure. Much better than the weather we're currently getting, 40 and rainy. But pretty typical for Max V. You have 3 extra sets of tires, though I'm sure we will not be seeing much use of those. No fast repairs, so will be very important to keep the truck clean, stay out of the big one. Incident limits do stand. 16x is a drive-through, 21 is a disqualification. 70% fuel should put the pit window around lap 22 So definitely going to be seeing, hopefully, some green flag pit cycles to really shake things up tonight. 60 laps is the full distance, which will put the stage brake caution at the end of lap 18. So it doesn't seem like too far of a run for 18 laps, but lots can happen between now and that mark.
I want to apologize to Rob Martin, who's hanging out with us in the chat. I completely forgot to put Twisted Designs as the title sponsor of the race. For anybody that's watching on replay, it will be fixed by the time you watch it. But this is the Twisted Designs 60. Some track facts for you at Daytona. We've had 4 races here with the Max CNC Designs Truck Series. 4 different winners. Greg Mall, Heath Smith, Justin Michael, and Billy Bumgarner. We average 4 cautions per race here. What really helped that statistic was our 2024 season opener that went caution-free. It was the last race to do so before the league implemented the stage brake. So we will not have a caution-free race here tonight, but it is certainly possible. These Max V guys, you know, you talk about the chaos and calamity of the super speedway racing. Honestly, Max V does not have many cautions on the super speedways, and they get an attaboy for that because that's hard to find.
Yeah, I believe Daytona at Venom earlier this season, we had quite a few,
and that
to
was
say the least.
That was even on the heels of a very rare caution-free race at Daytona for Venom the year before that as well. So we have our ebbs and our flows on the super speedways, and certainly this one could have many more than 4 cautions. Anything is possible when you pull into the world's center of racing. 2 of the championship protagonists, their teammates, and they're on the front row. Scott Patton and James Lehman. Fire. We are underway at Daytona.
Very, very even getaway out front. Perhaps intentional, but they are controlling the field, rolling into turn 1. A little bit of separation will close down as they roll onto the backstretch. McLaughlin now pulling up to Radalosso's bumper on that outside line.
Calm, cool, and collected thus far. That's what you need to be here early. Settle in. 18 laps, not a whole lot of time to strategize to get yourself some stage points, especially if you're one of these drivers that started towards the back. Justin Michael back in the 27th position. He could pick his way through in a normal race, but this isn't quite normal.
No, definitely not. Looking at guys like Nathan Carroll, Jared Wishon, Greg Mall, Billy Bumgarner, all sitting right there around that top 10 mark, rather. Definitely looking to get some more points on board.
I mean, knowing you have 16 laps ahead of you to try and make this move, Nathan Carroll on the outside of the 6th row, basically, as we ride here. Looking out his windshield, how do you pick your way through this field? Are you making the moves? Are you riding with the line? What's the MO here?
Personally, I think the MO on the start, you're already on the outside. May as well go for it. But it looks like Carroll is going to slot into that inside line now. That's going to give Greg Mall the go-ahead to pull to the bumper of Brett Slagle.
When you've got that nice big gap to work into, opportunities like that don't present themselves very often here. You got to take what you can get early. James Lehman leading, Patton right back to where he was at Auto Club, battling with Matt Rodolosso as they go side by side down the backstretch.
Yeah, definitely no coincidence for Lehman and Patton to be linked up here on this front row. Jared Wishon in and out a little bit there. Pretty even keel so far.
And it doesn't look like the urgency is too terrifically high anywhere in the field. And we've also complained, kind of. Hard to complain as an observer, but certainly these trucks have looked unsteady at times in some super speedway races recently. They look a little bit more grounded here. The track temperature certainly will come into play with that, but also maybe just these drivers finally having a better handle on these trucks, or maybe just not pushing the issue as much here early.
Yeah, no, one driver who's definitely pushing the issue after receiving an EOL for tonight's race is Justin Michaels. He's already back up around that top 15 mark, looking to go 3 wide around the outside.
Yeah, Michael with a couple of cantankerous races, I think it's fair to say, did not get the finish that he deserved at Auto Club, and didn't really get a good finish at Martinsville either, and is still second in the points.
Lots of shaking up at the front.
Whoa!
Oh, there goes Mixon Sweet around.
Sweet in the 11 truck is around, and the caution is out for the first time.
Boy.
As it looks like Trent Drum, also Chris Voil's going to be involved. Logan Murray. There's a handful of drivers. Ryan Nardone, a chaser, with the issue here early on lap 5, and this is not what you want to see. Rob Martin looking to be limping away from this one. Hopefully it was just slowing up. But a couple of stragglers here from this incident. It started with the 11 truck from the looks of it. And maybe the scramble on from there. Let's take a look at this one. And we'll back it up. Mason Sweet back in the lineup for the first time in a few weeks. I think the last time we saw him was at Darlington. And you were just mentioning Justin Michael. This is Michael pulling up onto the tailgate of the 11 of Sweet. I think Michael's trying to shoot the gap to the outside. Sweet is sort of listing up the track, and they come together. Off the front bumper of Jack Watts, the spinning Sweet goes. And everything else that happens is just a jam up from there. We'll take another look at it here. As Billy Bumgarner is the first one I'm going to see go around. And yeah, Bumgarner is going to slow up, and I don't think Trent Drum or anybody else behind him is going to quite slow up in time. Oh, yeah, Rob Martin into Drum. Martin may have got some help as well. So Drum is slowing Martin with a little help there, and then Kerry Cleaver is in. Ryan Nardone trying to pick his way through as well. We'll back this up and take one sort of cinematic look at it before we get back to the live action.
Carroll barely escaping from getting tagged on that one.
So that has some implications. Ryan Nardone was already, in a little bit of trouble points-wise, and this is not going to help that situation much at all. As he continues to sit on pit road. Trent Drum, Logan Murray, Rob Martin, Mason Sweet, Tyler Hessling, Kerry Cleaver, and Chris Voiles all still on pit road as well. James Lehman, the leader. Wonder how he's feeling right about now. I guess it's good that it's not a road course tonight. Otherwise, I think he might have bowed out. I can't imagine trying to wheel a truck around like Sonoma or, like Portland. With some kind of an arm injury like he's got. That would, I would much rather be doing this.
Yeah, I barely want to do a track like that with 2 hands.
Hello to Marilyn Beck in the chat. Hello to Daniel Carroll as well. And hello to Lisa officially as well. Appreciate everybody that's hanging out with us here tonight. And the Twisted Designs 60 off to an interesting start this evening. It's our first caution of the night out on lap 5. Still chasing the stage on lap number 18. So we'll get about a 10-lap crack at the dash to the green and white checkered here to pay out a little bonus points. Remember, James Lehman not only nursing an injury, but nursing an 8-point advantage coming into tonight. It's one thing to, pull a a Connor Zilichen come back at the super speedway. There's no tag out driver. I don't think his wife is going to hop in the rig and finish the race for him. But he'll have a week to rest up on it and enter Homestead, Miami with whatever kind of points lead he's got. That's going to be a lot more demanding. Sliding around on that mile and a half, that's going to be a lot tougher than this.
Yeah, Homestead, one of my favorite mile and a halves. Really reminds me of doing some dirt tracking at like Eldora or something, especially through turn 1, you just sliding it all the way around the wall.
Also, like Eldora, and the fact that on paper the corners look the same, they drive completely differently, though. So that's where you could find yourself in trouble. But it is a James Lehman kind of track. If there's anything that he can sort of tuck in his back pocket and carry with him into Homestead next week, if nothing else, he verifiably knows how to wheel and deal down at HMS. So we'll see what he has got. One thing's for sure, Scott Patton does not want him to leave with the points lead after tonight. Neither does Justin Michael. The difference between Patton and Michael right now is that Patton is in a much better position to do something about it. Michael, the outside of row number 6, he's got some work to do.
Really needs to get at least just a couple stage points. Because even if he wins it, I mean, he's sitting at possibly up to a 10-point deficit on this race alone if he doesn't get any stage points.
Some of the drivers that desperately need some stage points, Jared Wishon is in 10th, Nathan Carroll is in 11th. Jack Watts was just involved in that accident, but he is in the 14th position. As I thought maybe for a second the lights were back on the pace truck, but I think that's just some glimmer of the stadium lights off the hood of the truck. It looks nice. The green flag is back out. First restart of the night, and James Lehman is pulling away. CJ McLaughlin has come to play once again, as he is looking to take advantage here on the inside of Patton to take second.
Yep, really good start from that inside line. Will Kirk dropping down is going to give a lot of momentum. A little bit of checking up there. Here comes Wishon tagging along. McLaughlin going to go to the outside line now. And take over the lead of that outside. Yeah,
CJ helping this outside line along. They lost most of their momentum early in this restart. So that
how about this? Here
Justin
comes
Michael.
Justin Michael up the middle by himself.
A couple of drivers trying to stick it out 3 wide. Seth Foudy is one of them. But James Lehman has got this field in control.
Michael's going to look to take the lead of that outside line.
Whoa!
Here goes McLaughlin.
No, Michael into the wall. Shuffled out. They start to stack up right around that 87 truck, and Michael has got damage. You can forget about stage points without an accident now. You need to find out what kind of truck you've got.
Michael is damaged. Greg Mall was also bumped into the wall there.
Let's see if we could take a quick look here. I know action's still happening. We won't spend too much time. Just getting crossed up, shoved into the wall. That's a big-time shot there for the 87 truck. He'll have a lot of damage to work through. Luckily, he only has to hold out for another 7 laps or so before we are back under the caution flag. Hello to Charlie Widener, charging Charlie a winner at Daytona in Truck 200. So he knows how to do it in the super speedways. Appreciate you hanging out with us. And there's Robin Motichek as well. Hello, hello. If you're shopping online, I'm accepting donations. I'll take a Christmas present. Don't take that seriously. That's 100% a joke.
Lots of shuffling as this field, the front half of this field at least, comes back together. Justin Michael and Greg Mall now tagged together, trying that outside line yet again.
Here, that truck has so much damage. You would think it would have had so much damage anyway. I mean, he hit flush and hard there in the tri-oval, but he is undeterred. He's still going for it.
Yeah. Oh, CJ right at the quarter.
CJ was the one that he made contact with.
Yeah, Justin now almost had it on Brad Slagle. Slagle hanging on there. A little squirrely. Outside line with a run now. Lehman and Kirk still your lead duo on the bottom line. One thing to keep in mind, the way that these trucks draft, the further to the front that outside line gets, the more drag it actually puts on that middle line.
Wow.
And, bouncing.
There goes
There they
Mitten.
go.
Slagle.
Carroll into the wall.
Carroll. Michael sneaks through. Not many others are going to. Oh, dear. That is a huge crash. And that started with Rod Mitten trying to sneak into a little bit of a gap. I thought he had gotten away with it. But this says otherwise. That is a big crash. Christian Elliott, Chris Surgeon, Seth Foudy, Rod Martin, Nathan Carroll, Jared Wishon both involved in this as well. Youch.
Well, that's going to put a lot of chase drivers on the back foot.
Yes, it is. Under the caution for the second time, I think we'll have maybe a couple lap shootout here for the stage officially. Let's take a look at this. Trying to find the best spot to come in here. It starts with Rod Mitten. And I can't find him on my running order. There we go. So let's back this up just a little bit. You saw him make this move. Has a huge run. Goes up to block Michael. Oh, and then Michael just gets him a little bit loose, turns him down into Slagle, and my goodness. Talk about a track blocker. I mean, goodness gracious. That is caution number 2 of the night. Well, the leaders are stopping down the backstretch. Maybe to let the pace truck catch up. That's all I could think of. Lehman, Kirk, Rodolasso, CJ McLaughlin are the 4 that look like they've stayed out. Jack Watts is coming. Bill Paradise, Greg Mall, all leaving pit road.
Yeah, and here comes the pace truck. Super odd there.
Weird that they'd be having to let the pace truck go by while pit stops are happening. I'm hoping not everybody has like a closed pit penalty here. Weird timing for sure on all of it. Scott Patton with an extended stay on pit road here from the looks of it.
Yeah, Patton was sent through the infield grass, so not sure if he got any damage out of it.
Well, it could also have some kind of an improper pit entry penalty or pit exit penalty, as that was not what I meant to click on. But Patton is off and away. It could also have some kind of damage as well. Yeah, and it's situations like this, and we've had this exact scenario at Daytona before. We mention it every once in a while, the Max V CNC Design Truck Series. You give them this, they're consistent. They have never cleared a black flag for any reason. It's times like this, though, that, everybody wishes that there was some kind of race control. But, you have to pay for that. So, yeah. So, and unfortunately, it's cost multiple drivers finishes and crashes on the final lap. It's given some drivers some, I would argue, some unfair penalties. But again, they don't clear them from anybody. Justin Michaels had them, James Lehman has had them, Scott Patton's had them. None of the head honchos in this league have ever gotten a flag cleared. And the other good news is that if you do have to come down under green and serve some kind of a penalty, you've got a guaranteed caution here in another 2 laps. And plenty of opportunity to get a lap back if you have to. What could very well be many more cautions, as we're halfway to our average caution count and we're not even at the stage break yet.
I believe the pass caution will be the stage break.
Oh boy. Was it not lap 18? Am I tripping?
Yes, but looks like they have declared that caution was the stage break.
Ooh. Okay, well, that certainly is interesting. So that changes a couple things. Primarily, it puts Lehman, Kirk, Rodolasso, and McLaughlin in a weird spot, having not come down pit road, presumably under this caution. We'll see. There's still plenty of people trying to catch up to the pack here. People that look like they've come in and topped off. This field is all spread out and topsy-turvy. We're going to get the green flag here on lap 16.
Oh boy, massive jump from the bottom. Will Kirk going to slot in after the stripe.
Man, McLaughlin is the first one out on the top side.
And he's got a lot of damage.
Yeah, he is.
Topside dropping like a rock.
Yeah. And will continue to do so. They're single file most of the way through.
Patton going to try and make a little bit of momentum on the outside by himself. Not sure if he'll have enough side draft. Here comes Maul and Sargent into pit road.
I would imagine with penalties to serve. Maul, Sargent, Mitten, Martin,
Bumgarner.
Billy Bumgarner, yep. So they all have some kind of a penalty. Worth pointing out, Justin Michael looks to be out of the race, potentially still on pit road, as is Nathan Carroll. Heath Smith and Chris Voiles also not counting any laps. So at the moment, we've got 24 drivers on track out of the 29 that we started with. And in this lead pack here are the top 9 drivers. James Lehman, Matt Rodolasso, Will Kirk, Jack Watts, Mike Milfelt, Seth Foudy, Christian Elliott, Scott Patton, and Tyler Hesseling. CJ McLaughlin with all that damage, and Bill Paradise, the People's Champ, giving him the best shove that he can. But they have lost this lead pack.
Yeah, and out of everybody in this lead pack, only 4 of them are chase drivers.
Yeah, this is not good news for Justin Michael's campaign for a championship here. He looks very much to be out of this race, or will be numerous laps down by the time he's able to get back out on track. Not going to be a lot of positions up for grabs for that 87 if he can rejoin the race this evening. It does. Certainly this will do a Nathan Carroll's bid for a championship as well. Billy Bumgarner not in a great spot. Greg Mall still on pit road now, just making his way off. Will be 2 laps down by the time he gets back out onto the track.
There's Billy Bumgarner coming off of pit road. I'm sure hoping to tag the tail of this lead pack. Looks like he does still have some damage though.
Now this is the classic Max V / Bandit Motorsports MO right here. Single file, very controlled, focus forward, strategy in mind. I'm sure they have the exact fuel number in their minds that they're aiming for to come down pit road. We'll see who is involved in the powwow in a little breakaway here. I will say the numbers for Bandit Motorsports right now are lacking in this lead pack. So Lehman and Patton might have to abandon their normal strategy of pitting early and by themselves, because I'm not sure they have the numbers. And they might have to find the group consensus here and tag along with everybody else.
Little bit of banter over the radio. Lehman, Rodoloso, and Kirk, your lead three, have yet to pit.
And yeah, that is a great point. We mentioned that on the restart, but you get to have the radio. It's the reverse of what Matt Williamson and I have to deal with on Venom on Tuesday nights. I get to listen to the radio, and he doesn't, which, you know, sometimes that's a good thing. And he does miss out on some of the fun stuff. Yeah, no comment on that.
No comment. Anyway. So, Lehman declaring last lap that he had right at 6 left on fuel, so would not be surprised to see them coming in within the next couple laps here.
Jack Watts pulling out of line here with Mike Milfelt and Seth Foudy, 3 drivers on the lead lap, but they are going to the tail. Very interesting.
Very curious to note if there is some collaboration between the 3 of them, get to the tail of this pack, that way they can all pit together.
May not be anything, but I think it is worth noting we've got a little bit of a second pack here formed up. Jared Wishon is in this mix, and I believe he is the only chaser. That's 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and a couple of lap trucks in the mix.
Yeah, so that would be Wishon and Bumgardner, who are the 2 chasers in that second pack.
And again, Billy Bumgardner is 3 laps down in the 23rd position. He's the last driver running currently. One driver coming to pit road, that is CJ McLaughlin. And he's got a lot of damage, and he spins it through the infield grass. That might just be the end of the night for driver 91. Very weird start to this race. We're not even halfway through, and this field is completely decimated.
Almost speechless.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very broken up here.
Under different circumstances, but this has happened before in terms of, you know, a small sample size of the field being able to break away. It sort of sets the stage very early without another caution to let you know who is in it for the win. And as of right now, it's any one of the top 9. And like you mentioned, only 2 chasers, or rather 3 chasers in this mix, with Lehman, Patton, and Watts.
Yeah, definitely set up for interesting fuel cycles as well.
So according to the number that Lehman gave a couple of laps ago, I would imagine he'll be down either this time or next time. Certainly will have to come in the next couple of laps. And I can attest, running an IndyCar race at a super speedway last night, you're not doing yourself any favors trying to save fuel, being the leader. I was wondering why nobody wanted to pass me, and it turns out I ran out of fuel. And they did not. That was Rob Martin.
Alrighty, so here is the call. Your top 3 are going to be coming in all together this time.
All right. And they will bring Parker Donaldson along with them. Tyler Hesseling is in. Donaldson is, or was, rather, the lucky dog driver. Trent Drum will take those honors.
That will give the lead to Christian Elliott.
Christian Elliott in the 13 truck. If you had to press me, I think this is his 3rd Max V start. And Scott Patton is going to the back. He will give up second. Jack Watts now rides P2.
Definitely think that is a very big. Oh boy!
Whoa!
Oh man!
What on earth happened there? That was Rob Martin, and his truck is just gone. Well, that was strange. We're still under green.
That is that's definitely a hardware failure.
Yeah, it certainly had all the hallmarks of that. Let's take a look back at this second pack. Trent Drum, Jared Wishon, Bill Paradise. Drivers pushing here on the outside. That's Greg Mull and Chris Surgeon. Yeah, wheel disconnected, Rob said in the chat. Yeah, it certainly looked it. It's a helpless feeling.
So 29 trucks starting this race. Nearing the halfway mark and only 13 are on the lead lap.
Jeez. Oh, man. It's wild. That's super speedway racing. I mean, that was a ginormous crash. And not only did it, I mean, it took a healthy amount of drivers, or I guess an unhealthy amount of drivers out, but it also gave drivers penalties and excessive damage. So, I mean, this field is so fragmented, it's hard to even see there being a caution to sort of group everybody back together. So you've got the top 5 right now that have pulled away. Christian Elliott, the leader. Jack Watts, Mike Milfelt, Seth Fowney, and Scott Patton. And I erroneously said a second ago that Trent Drum was the lucky dog. Well, Trent Drum is actually in the 6th position, leading this second pack. Well, not leading it per se, because Chris Sargent and Greg Mall are the ones leading it. But Trent Drum is the highest running of these in 6th. Jared Wishon behind him in 7th. A couple more lap drivers, including chaser Billy Bumgardner, Kerry Cleaver, and Logan A. Murray. Then you get to the People's Champ, Bill Paradise, running in 8th.
Very incredibly broken up. Then the next group is the group that just came down pit road a couple laps ago. Hessling, Lehman, 9th and 10th, rounding out your top 10.
So Surgeon and Mall actually 2 laps down. Kerry Cleaver here, the 69 truck, is currently the lucky dog in the 14th position, riding in the second pack. Now there is another pack that you just mentioned with Lehman and Hesseling. Will Kirk is also in this pack. He is currently the last driver on the lead lap. I don't think these guys are in any danger, at least currently, of getting lapped. So the lucky dog is Kerry Cleavers to lose at this current moment in time as we're across the halfway mark of the race. It's sort of a muted broadcast due to the circumstances of 2 early cautions that have just blown this field to smithereens. It's happened before. Not in Max V. I think to a Daredevil race, Season 3 at Chicagoland, we had 18 drivers that started, and a crash on lap 15 of 75 that only left 4 drivers running. So, basically 60 laps with 4 drivers to shoot it out, and they still had a photo finish and 2 passes for the lead on the last lap. That could very well be what we're in for here. It's just a bit of a waiting game to get to that point.
Yeah, a lot of drivers going to be a lot more patient having so few still on the lead lap.
And, you know, if you think to all the chase drivers, who is the one driver that they did not want to see get through all of that? That's Scott Patton. He's on the front foot in terms of strategy. His truck is relatively unblemished. You said he went for a little, trim, little landscaping there in that crash, but nothing too crazy. And he's currently riding inside the top 5 with every option available to him.
Yeah, so Patton, several laps ago, electing to go to the tail of this lead pack. Definitely a fuel save strategy. Come time for him to pit, hopefully, in an ideal circumstance, he will have to put a little bit less fuel in the truck, which will save him time on pit road.
Hello, Nora, as always, on the hood. The Stone River Outfitters Chevy Silverado.
Something very interesting to keep your eye on. The gap from this lead pack to the second pack is down almost 5 seconds from what it was 4 or 5 laps ago.
A little shoving. Kerry Cleaver and Logan Murray. But, Chris Sargent and Greg Mull are putting in good work leading this group. If there was anybody, if I were Chris Sargent, if there was anybody I'd want on my back bumper, it's Greg Mull.
Yeah, Mull, definitely a very good pusher.
And not only that, he's incredibly motivated at this moment in time. Came in with a realistic shot to rally back into this points fight. And right now, those dreams are fading rather quickly. 2 laps down in the closing stretch of this race. Listen to the throttle control here. Look at the car placement. Trying to get aligned with Sargent. And you don't necessarily have to be pushing. There's a little bit of a bubble that can form between the two vehicles that can help sort of like beach ball the driver in front. Not as much of a thing in the trucks as it is in the Xfinity and especially in the next gen car. But, the bumper doesn't have to do all the work here. Luckily, Greg Mull is doing a lot of work, the veteran, trying to just get something going. And it is working. I'm going to say we're in full fuel save mode here because, they are taking seconds at a time out of this lead pack. Look how quickly this gap is. You just mentioned it was 5 seconds. It's now 1.5 seconds. With 25 laps to go. Pit stops. Trent Drum is in, so is Christian Elliott, the race leader. Bill Paradise in. Logan Murray also will make his way down pit road. And there's Mull and Sargent, tandem drafting their way, trying to unlap themselves once the hard way. And it takes 2 to tango. I'm talking up Greg Mull, but man, Chris Sargent's doing a nice job as well. We'll see who's coming down pit road this time, if anyone. Does not look like there are any takers. Scratch that. Here comes... oh, no. I thought Mike Milfelt was coming in. That's Jared Wishon. So Wishon is in by himself, and that is no bueno. So if these drivers wanted a little fuel save, now with Sargent and Mull in front of him, they can get a little bit of a tow. As Jack Watts is now the race leader. Mike Milfelt, Seth Foudy, Scott Patton, and a couple of lap trucks in the mix there as well. Kerry Cleaver, currently the lucky dog in 14th. Here they come. Oh, Watts. There is no way Watts was not speeding there. He was sailing it in there. Milfelt Foudy are in. Patton is in.
Oh, and Watts rolled through his box.
Clean entry for Patton. Taking right side tires as well. Left side does not come up, and Patton is away. And he wins the race off of pit road. As James Lehman and Matt Rodolasso, remember, off sequence, they will take over the lead of the race.
Not only will they take the lead of the race, but Patton and Foudy are going to be just a little bit too far back and by themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they are almost 5 seconds behind. That is a lot to overcome, even with a full pack of drivers, let alone with just 2. But certainly, Lehman and Rodolasso will have to come down pit road again, as will Will Kirk, here in the 3rd position. Rod Minton and Parker Donaldson. Donaldson now in the lucky dog spot. Rod Minton is 14 laps down, I think. It's a lot.
That looks correct, yes.
Quick maths. Yeah, Patton and Foudy literally by themselves. They don't even have any lap trucks to help them out. And that gap is ballooning quickly up to 7.8 seconds now, up to James Lehman. 7.2 back to Will Kirk. And they are losing time to this big group behind them, led by Christian Elliott and Jared Wishon, Kerry Cleaver in that mix. Trent Drum, Bill Paradise, Logan Murray. As you saw, Greg Mall and Chris Sargent coming in for their scheduled service.
Now, while it may momentarily look good, one thing to keep in mind, Lehman, Rodolasso, and Kirk, they still need to come down pit road again.
Yes, they will certainly have to do that. 19 laps to go. When do you make that stop? When can you make that stop? That's the question. When does the fuel window open for these drivers?
I think at this point their best bet is to go as far as they can on the fuel, hoping that there is some miracle caution that comes out.
Not impossible with some drivers pushing and shoving that we can't get a late race yellow to really turn this race on its head and get everybody bunched back together. So again, quite a line of drivers trapped a lap down here. Lehman and Rodolasso nose to tail first and second. Will Kirk is 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th in line here out of 10. Three out of 11 drivers in this line are on the lead lap. And again, looking back to Foudy and Patton, they are losing time on the leaders, even with Brad Slagle joining the party. And they are dropping back towards Christian Elliott and his group, which could very well be the battle for the win if they've got the fuel calculations right.
If my very crude math skills are of any relevance, it looks like theoretically Foudy and Patton currently should be provisionally in the first two positions at the end of the race.
I don't think that is going to last very long, though, as they are within draft range now of that trio, Foudy and Patton, and Brad Slagle, who is trying to be the first driver one lap down. We'll keep our eyes peeled for Lehman, Rodolasso, and Kirk making their final stop, but this will be for the win provisionally. Elliott with a head of steam. And is not going to get out of line. He's going to tuck right in.
Definitely a curious thing. Now, he pitted on lap 37, so perhaps he is looking to do a little bit of fuel saving, try and be on a little bit better foot at the end of this race.
So hard to keep track of everything that's going on here. Brad Slagle is not in the lucky dog position, nor is Kerry Cleaver. And in fact, Kerry Cleaver is 1 lap ahead of Brad Slagle. But they are in the 15th and 16th positions. So confusing. Even before tonight started, a couple of chasers had thrown in the towel. No Kyle Stewart, no Rob Haynes. A couple of other drivers have had no choice but to throw in the towel after tonight. It's been a rough go for Nathan Carroll, Justin Michael. Billy Baumgartner is back out on the track, but he is about 5 laps down. Things are going to be looking very interesting next week at Homestead for the final Max V race on Turn 200.
Yeah, very interested to see the number crunching to be done with the possibilities of who can win the championship.
Certainly Lehman and Patton are the two favorites at this current moment. Jared Wishon is doing all he can to keep himself in the fight, running in 7th. But he was already, I think, 40 points out coming into tonight. Greg Mall was on the fringe. Unfortunately for Mall, he is now 3 laps down, or 2.5 laps down anyway, after having to make his final pit stop. So he'll be hoping for a couple of cautions here at the end of this race.
And here we go. Here's the group coming in. This is going to be Lehman, Rodolasso, and Kirk, the top 3.
Oh, Kirk is going to get tripped up a little bit with Rodolasso and Donaldson making a little contact there under braking.
Man, and Lehman barely got the grass with his right front. Hopefully he did not get any penalties for that.
Well, it's already going to be an uphill fight for them without the caution. We think the new race leaders, Seth Foudy, and the new second-place driver, Scott Patton, and Christian Elliott on back, have enough fuel for the rest of the race. Not 100% sure, though. The Twisted Designs 60 here tonight at Daytona has been quite twisted indeed and continues to not. Where it stops, nobody knows.
So Seth Foudy officially now inheriting the lead at the stripe. So long as they can make it back to the checkered flag, this will be your front-running group.
So it's Seth Foudy, Scott Patton, Christian Elliott, Jared Wishon, Trent Drum, Bill Paradise, the top 6. If they've got enough gas, this is the battle for the win. Lap trucks in the mix here. Brad Slagle is there. Kerry Cleaver is there. And Logan Murray is in here as well. So lead lap trucks outnumber lap trucks, but the lap trucks will play a factor in this one, even if on the final lap they just pull out a line. That is space to be filled and runs to be made. And Patton potentially staring down a first super speedway victory in Max V. And what would be a 3rd win in a row en route to inheriting the points lead headed into the finale next week at Homestead. Although James Lehman is only down in 7th, and you know these guys are absolutely, without a doubt, good on fuel. They are 18 seconds behind the leaders right now. So they won't catch him without everybody running out of fuel or making a pit stop or, crashing.
Which is very much still not out of the question.
No, it's not. We did a lot of crashing early, and these drivers have had some time to sit in timeout and reflect on it. But we are certainly not done with it. Not by a long shot.
No, I know this single file line here surely will not stay single filed all that much longer.
This just gives you time to think and think and think. And thinking oftentimes is worse than just acting on instinct, especially at the super speedways. The more time you have time to plan, the more time you can just not go with your guts. Speaking of acting on instinct, how about the Dirt 200 special tomorrow night at Bristol, 9 o'clock Eastern Time? That'd be a good time.
It'll be a great time.
We'll see you here on Turn 200 for a little Friday night dirt trucking. What's Christian Elliott thinking right now? 3rd time out in Max V. And he's got a shot to win.
I would be absolutely panicking.
I mean, you went 1 for 1. Billy Bumgarner at Daytona last season went 1 for 1 as well. I mean, it's been done. It can be done. But, also a little panic.
Oh, don't believe that my one was not a panicked win. I didn't even know we were at the checkered.
Coming to 6 laps to go. These drivers are not backing off the pace, so they are either 100% not good on fuel or they are 100% good on fuel. I would go with the latter.
That being said, the gap back to Rodoloso and Lehman and Kirk is slowly closing down to a measly 17.5 seconds.
Is that all?
That is all.
So we'll keep an eye here, maybe with 5 to go, if these drivers start to lift off the pedal a little bit. Maybe there is a little sign of trouble brewing. So that gap is shrinking just a little bit.
Definitely not impossible to see once this front group goes double file that it will slow them down even more. As to when that will be is yet to be decided.
Here's a look out the windshield of Brad Slagle. Again, 2 laps down in 16th.
And the hard thing about jumping out of line is you got to be sure that you have somebody to tag along with you, because if not, you're going to get hung out to dry and go backwards very, very quickly.
Is 3 races enough time to make friends for Christian Elliott? That's the question. I don't think anybody that showed up tonight made any friends. That's just the long and short of it.
Maybe the opposite, even.
I would say so. Not that Christian's done anything wrong. I think that's just the vibe of the night. If I had to guess, this is going to be an interesting night to refresh the chat. Oh, we do have a problem out on track. Rod Mitten has just crashed, but he's towed back to the pits. We are still green. 3 laps to go. That gap continues to come down.
Couldn't think of anything more miraculous for the 7th, 8th, and 9th place drivers than a caution right now.
Setting the stage for some moves a little bit further back. Bill Paradise in the 6th and final lead lap position with some lap trucks around him. Wouldn't it be somewhat fitting for Jared Wishon to get his first dub tonight in these circumstances? He needs it bad. But again, like you said, how do you pick your way up to the front?
Bobbing and weaving, Wishon looking to the outside.
This lead group just wants to make it back to the stripe to make this one official.
That being said, I know for a fact Patton will not settle and push.
No, he will not. White flag is out. 1 lap to go in the Twisted Design 60 at Daytona. Here goes.
Outside.
Oh, Foudy!
Block.
Patton with a little contact.
Down.
Gets underneath of him. It's now Foudy pushing Elliott, or Elliott pushing Foudy, rather.
Wishon to the outside. Patton looking for help from the lap cars of Slagle.
Patton not getting it yet. Here's the run here inside. The top 3 are stacked up on the outside. Patton running back to life down low. The dash to the checkers is on at Daytona. Foudy pushes ahead. Elliott swings to the outside, and Seth Foudy takes a maiden victory in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. The Twisted Design 60 goes to the 26 in his return. Christian Elliott and Jared Wishon on the podium. Scott Patton back to 4th. Trent Drum with a career best 5th place finish. Bill Paradise in 6th. Oh, what a night. He came close a couple of times in the fall months. Haven't seen Foudy in a few weeks. This one will feel good, I would imagine. He's been wanting this for a while. Let's go ahead and take a look at that final lap once again. We'll see if we can get it on high from the chopper cam here. So Foudy's leading. That's not necessarily always where you want to be on the final lap. Let's see how he gets it done. Brad Slagle, that green truck there, third in line. Patton goes up to get some help from Christian Elliott. That was a great move there, and it nearly got Foudy turned around. But Foudy hangs on. Great shoves down the backstretch there from Elliott. Patton with good help from Slagle. But the momentum is going to reestablish itself very quickly here on the top. And all the top three are going to get clear. Elliott tried to go make that move, but ended up 3 wide with Wishon to his inside. And it was all Foudy from there. All right, let's take a look at your full finishing rundown. Certainly an interesting 60 laps here tonight for the Twisted Design 60 at Daytona. If either the music or the finishing order would pop up, that would be fantastic. Here we go. Seth Foudy with a win. Christian Elliott, Jared Wishon, your podium finishers. We'll talk to these three, hopefully, in a moment. Fourth to Scott Patton. Career best P5. Attaboy for Trent Drum. Attaboy for Bill Paradise. And 6th, James Lehman will finish in 7th. Will Kirk and 8th, Matt Rodolasso. Jack Watts, the top 10. 11th place for Mike Milfelt. 12th for Tyler Hessling. Ryan Nardone in 13th. Kerry Cleaver, 14th. Parker Donaldson in 15th. Brad Slagle finishes 16th. Logan Murray in 17th. Greg Mullen, 18th. Chris Sargent, Billy Bumgardner are running at the end of this race. 21st on down are not. Rod Mitten in 21st. Mason Sweet, 22nd. Rob Martin, 23rd. CJ McLaughlin in 24th. 25th for Joshua Fracker. Justin Michael down in 26th. 27th for Nathan Carroll. 28th for Heath Smith and Chris Voiles in the 29th in final position. We'll get everything racked up here and try and get a word in with your third place finisher. And won't lose out on second by much. Jared Wishon is back to podium here. And welcome back to Booth 200. And that was an interesting race, to say the least, but you persevered for a podium.
Yeah, and I'm going to be completely honest. I have no clue how I got there, because I was like 10 plus seconds off the lead pack. And the next thing I know, they were in front of me, and I come out of the pits in like 7th and had a shot to win it. The truck was pretty destroyed, but I was able to stay up behind somebody. But yeah, I have no clue how that come for me to be in play for the win, but I won't complain about it.
I mean, certainly the 2 lap trucks at the front of your pack there were putting in good work. It did seem like there was some, I don't know if it was fuel strategy afoot or what, but I mean, that lead pack dropped back to you in a hurry. Good that you found yourself with company, though, because not very many drivers were fortunate enough to be in a line that was working well together there in the middle part of the race.
Yeah, we got pretty lucky there with that. But I think the 7 and I don't remember who it was, but they come flying by us on the high side, and once they got in front of I think the 14 had a little bit of damage, and he was kind of slowing us down a bit. And then once the 7 and whoever that was got in front of us, we really took off and was able to get some lap times. And yeah, I guess they saved fuel or something that brought them back to me. I never had to do any saving back there in that pack because I was damaged and couldn't really go, I guess, the speed they were. But I kind of noticed them coming back to us, but I just have no clue how we ended up here. But I'll take it.
Josh, what you got?
Man, congrats on yet another podium and being back up here with us in the booth. I mean, definitely a super interesting and weird super speedway race. I mean, what is the thought process and the strategy calls once you realize that just about half the grid is gone or has damage, including yourself?
Yeah, I wasn't too upset about that because I come out, I think I was like 13th, and I needed as much points as I could get tonight after Auto Club to somewhat put myself back into this. But yeah, once I seen the field was spread out, I thought, all right, a 13th place finish won't be too bad. And then next thing I know, I was like 7th, and then we was 4th, and then we end up 3rd. So I definitely feel like tonight was a win as far as being involved in that wreck and still coming home 3rd, because we had, I think, 2 minutes and 50 some seconds
Oh, wow.
of damage. So I didn't get it all fixed. I still had like 40 left, but yeah, I mean, I come in tonight with nothing to lose and was going to race for it, and then we got taken out, and that just kind of put us back. And I guess it probably worked out better that way than if we didn't get taken out.
I say, even looking at it here on the replay in slow-mo, the old diecast fans on the hood has certainly seen better days. So is that Toyota Insignia as well. So, I mean, yeah, great recovery drive, all things considered, and great to have you back up here on the podium tonight. Let's get some shout-outs in once again before I let you go.
Yeah, I just want to thank diecast fans for being on the truck all season, and hopefully we can. I don't know what the points will look like, because I think James still finished pretty good, but hopefully we somewhat moved ourselves back into the picture. And thank you guys for broadcasting and everybody that puts the league on.
All righty, partner. We'll hope to talk to you one more time at Homestead next week, but good job here tonight.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to Christian Elliott, who will take home the second place finish here this evening. Driver 13 pushing pretty good there at the end of the race. Did Seth Foudy say he was going to buy you a beer at least for all the good shoving there?
I mean, I might have to. I mean, it was just crazy at the end there. Just tried pushing for everything I could and didn't know who to work with, who's going to be good on gas. And yeah, it was just insane.
I mean, it's certainly a weird spot for yourself to be in here. I mean, the field pretty well ravaged by that, but you come out seemingly pretty clean and leading laps at certain points of this race. I mean, what is the middle to end game of this race looking like inside the mind of driver 13? Because I'm sure there was a lot going on just trying to piece together everything that was happening.
Well, before the race, I tried putting my mind like, please do not mess up a playoff driver's race. I do not want to be that guy. So I'm like, I'll stick to the back. We'll see what happens. Got through that wreck relatively clean. I think I only had a minute and a half of damage. Once I got that fixed, I think the fuel mileage helped me out pretty well. I was leading laps there, and I don't remember half the race because I'm like, I can't believe I'm leading in this league right now. But it worked.
I would be doing the exact same thing. Joshua, what you got?
Man, congrats on a wild yet good race and being up here with us in the booth. I mean, like you said, trying not to upset any possible chase finishes. I mean, in that lead pack at the end, there was only 2 or 3, I believe. I mean, what is the strategy call when the race gets so stretched out like that and everybody's kind of on their own, just all mangled up together?
Yeah, I guess the hardest part was, since this was my third race in the league, I was trying to figure out who I could and couldn't work with. But since I was either leading laps or I was in the very back of the pack, I just couldn't find anybody that I was able to really work with. So it was really all just a guessing game and just trying to find myself in the perfect spot. But yeah.
Yeah, only 800ths off of a maiden victory here, but man, great work to get Seth Foudy out there and to get yourself in the mix there at the end of this race as well. Let's get some shout-outs in from the podium here before we let you go.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to thank my teammates at G Lightning Motors. I know a few of them tuned in. It's always great to have their support and have them on the truck. Without their support, I probably wouldn't do league racing, but here we are, and hopefully we can fight for more podiums next season.
We're looking forward to that. Thank you for the time here tonight. Congrats on the podium. We'll hopefully talk to you again one more time next week at Homestead.
Sounds good. You guys take care.
Well, it's been a while, but it's good to talk to Seth Foudy, and even better to talk to him as a race winner in the Max VCNC Home Designs Truck Series. How about that?
Hey, Tommy. Hey, Josh. How are you guys?
Well, it was a very interesting night, to say the least. I'm sure no complaints at the end of it from your vantage point, though, being on the top step and all. But certainly was an interesting set of circumstances that sort of thinned the herd, to say the least, and put you in a position to ride around much of this race single file.
Yeah, I mean, early on in the race, actually before the race had started, I talked to a couple drivers and just trying to figure out, because it's been a little bit since I've been here, so trying to figure out who's in the playoffs and who's not. I didn't want to disrupt anything tonight. I just wanted to come out and have some fun and everything. So I had a driver I was going to work with, but man, there was a quite the doozy of a wreck there towards the beginning of the race, and we were just pretty fortunate to not be caught up in that. We got a little bit of left rear end damage from somebody that just raised by us, but we got it all fixed. And of course, the truck was fast, didn't have any downplay there. But my driver I was working with, he kind of got taken out. So really, it was just a matter of trying to play the fuel strategy game. As the race went on, it really came down to a fuel strategy race, and being out front like I was able to control the pace of the race. So I was only going anywhere from 85% to 90%. And so we were able to keep an extra lap and a half of fuel in the truck, which I was trying to wait until they started to jump, which Scott Patton jumped there towards the end. So then I just, I matted it down. And I think what really helped me was, one, I got to give a huge shout out to Krishan, because, he could have played that probably completely differently, but he was quite the, how do I say this? He was extremely nice to me, because I think he could have been probably a bit more aggressive there, and things could have went completely different. So I want to give a huge shout out to Krishan and Wishan as well, for the end of the race there. But I think what hurt Scott from being able to really get that run was, I think the driver behind him, the 52, had a little bit of damage. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I mean, all in all, super solid race. I'm excited with the outcome, and it's nice to be able to finally put one on the board. I think this might be the first one since I was racing here this season. I know we talked a lot about, like, man, you'll get one soon. Well, we were able to pull one off tonight, and pretty excited about that. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the before times, but I believe since the revival, this is your first W. So, and you're right, there was a long time coming from what we've seen this season since you've come back. So, Joshua, what you got for the race winner?
Yeah, congrats on the win. Definitely was an interesting one. I know that you and Krishan Elliott said the same thing about trying not to disrupt any of the chase drivers. But I mean, when you find yourself leading the lead pack coming towards the end, I mean, what is the thought process there as you watched Krishan jump out of line and try and make that run?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I didn't know who was directly behind me at the time. I just I figured Scott, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I figured Scott Patton's probably in the chase. So I mean, ultimately, I want to try to win the race, but at the same time, I don't want to make a move that's going to cause the field to get wrecked. So when I moved out to try to block Scott, I knew there was a possibility that he was going to go underneath of me, which he did. So I just didn't want to play that move, right? I didn't want to try to, block him back down the track. So I figured, I'll just give it to him, right? And then I'll try to use the guy behind me as my pickup guy. So, I didn't know that Krishan wasn't in the chase. I didn't even know that it was him behind me. But yeah, just trying to be mindful, right? Not make any like abrupt stupid moves that could possibly, cause everybody to end up being wadded up and then, I look like the bad guy at the end of the race. So I just wanted to keep it clean. And, I told the driver I was going to work with, I was like, dude, I do not care about winning tonight. I'll literally push you all the way to the end. Like, I don't care. So, to be able to come out on top of this one is pretty cool. Maybe it's a lesson learned, right? That, you don't always have to act like a fool on the track to get the victory, So, but obviously there's more pieces to the puzzle, and Krishan and Wishan were part of that puzzle. So.
Is that going to be like the new Milli Vanilli, you think, Krishan and Wishan? I think it has a good ring to it.
It does sound pretty good. I don't know if they're teammates or not, but maybe they should be.
So we'll have to get them in the studio together and see if they have a good flow or anything. But in the meantime, while we get all that situated, you've got the time here. Let's have some shout-outs from the top step of the podium.
Yeah, definitely. I want to thank you guys, Tommy and Joshua, Turn 200. Your broadcasts are always good. I do apologize because I haven't watched much here since I haven't been around. But I'm excited to definitely go back and watch this one. I want to thank the league and the admins here at Max Velocity. These guys put on one heck of a league, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful for the opportunity to run here and to run with some old friends from long ago. So shout out to all those guys. And shout out to my wife who always does the crew chiefing and spotting for me. She's, there's not a lot of people that can say that their wives do that, but she literally does all my races, and it helps. I mean, she guides me through them all. So I want to give a shout out to her. And my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for all my sim equipment, for the blessings that I have. And that's pretty much it, guys. I thank you so much.
Absolutely, partner. Thank you for the time here tonight. Go celebrate the win, and we'll hope to talk to you again if you're racing next week at Homestead.
Thank you very much.
And I know I've said this about a couple of drivers here this evening, but Homestead does definitely seem like a Seth Foudy kind of track. And I'm excited to get to Homestead next week, not only to put a bow on Turn 200's time with the Maximum Velocity CNC Home Design Truck Series and MVRL in general, but also just because, these guys are wheelers and dealers, and that is a wheeler and dealer track. Last time we were there, I think it was last season, so it would have been you and I. It was a damn good show. It should be a blast next week with everything coming together, with our final race, the championship battle, and just the battle for the win in general. I'm really looking forward to next week.
Yeah, Maxby never fails to disappoint for sure. I would say at the beginning of every super speedway race, it's anybody's game. I think tonight was even more than anybody's game. Just absolutely wild night. No clue what the strategy was going to do. So, kudos to them and your podium finishers for being there at the end.
Well, we'll look forward to that, and we'll look forward to get back on track tomorrow night at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's the Dirt 200 special, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series chase continues at the Tricky Triangle at Pocono at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. If you missed the Daredevil Series finale last night, it was really something. The Daredevil Series will return in April, and next Thursday night, the final Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series race on Turn 200 will crown a champion. And I guess 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll take a quick gander to see if the point standings have been updated or not. I believe unofficially, because I'm sure they're going to apply some penalty points after the end of the night. James Lehman did manage to pull a gap on Scott Patton, believe it or not. He's ahead by 12. So an extra 4 points for Lehman over Patton headed into next week. Again, Lehman's still nursing an injury, so we will see. It's a very interesting duo. Realistically, those are the only two that are in it. Michael is 37 back, Maul is 41 back, Wishon is 47 back. And those are your top five. So it'll be Lehman v. Patton with a little bit of a cushion to play with for Lehman in a track that he's quite good at. So we will see how it all shakes out next week at Homestead Miami Speedway. Thank you to everybody that was in the chat here this evening. Thank you to Joshua Motichek. Thank you to me. Thank you to Rob Martin. Thank you to Lisa Carroll, to Danielle Carroll, Bailey Motichek, Rob Martin, Marilyn Beck, Charlie Widener, and to Nathan Carroll, who snuck in on me there as well. Hayden Palumbo was here at the end of the night. Shout out to Dakota DeMade, who was also watching and messaged me on Discord. And hello to Yimmy T, whoever you may be. Thanks for hanging out with us here tonight. And thank you to the admin team, who have got a lot of work here after it's all said and done tonight. And thank you to CNC Home Designs. Thank you to Twisted Designs. And thank you to Joshua Motichek. That's all we got for you here tonight. Till we meet again from the World Center of Racing, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to Seth Foudy on his first career Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series win. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.